In Silence is Golden News.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Submitted by Clorox Wipes.
They're great.
People in this town could be fined for crying or arguing in their own home.
What? In your own home?
In your own home?
Fined so much.
Is this...
Why do you cry so much?
Fight. Why do you cry first?
Is it like
Whoa, man, you're so mean.
disturbing the silence?
Is this like a Dubai type place or like a...
Right. But who's to say that that's even happening? Did they put a camera in your house?
Maybe you could hear from the window.
Oh, like if you get a complaint, like a
They're
noise
fucking
complaint?
crying again.
But we fight whisper.
You are such pussy. Why you cry so much? They have this also in Glendale as a rule.
10 teardrop limit.
Yeah, so this is actually in Britain, a British town.
Did not expect that.
Yeah, it's called Newcastle-under-lyme.
That is not a real name.
Do they sell
It's
beer?
literally three words.
That's a drink you fucking order, dude.
Underline?
Under-lyme. L-Y-M-E.
Can I get the Newcastle, the underline one though?
The one with the
Newcastle-under-lyme.
green citrus.
Yes. With the Y, L-Y-M-E. So they're saying that now there's this new rule that is issued by local councils to prevent residents from disrupting their neighbors' everyday life. So they're saying that...
Crying is so cathartic.
What if there's just that one fucking tenant that's insane and crying like crazy all the time that bothers all of them?
What about happy tears?
This was introduced by Prime Minister Theresa May back when she was a secretary on the British cabinet in 2014, and they're saying that this would be applied to anyone above the age of 16. So they're saying that
Number?
Huh?
That is a
It's a
weird.
weird number.
I
Why?
didn't get that.
I guess because children cry and like make noise like little
But
kids.
you're still a kid at 17. Why not 17?
I don't know.
That's
So
when you
they're
do the
saying
most crying.
that
Yeah, dude.
A resident
Oh,
not to create any wailing, jabbering, crying, and hammering on the wall type noises. So if these noises can be heard outside of any property, then that person will get fined. Who lives
Maybe
in
a lot of people cry in this apartment complex.
wait, wailing and against the wall. It just sounds
They're
like
slamming.
rough
Why? Why?
fucking- Yeah.
I mean, they could be separate things, not at the same time.
Masks. It's like one of those type of situations, eh?
It kind of makes sense coming from Britain though, because they are a country of like etiquette and certain like ways of behavior, and there's a lot of like manners. Because that's where like the whole gentleman's concept came from.
Well,
so
you
it
know
kind of
what?
makes sense.
What's funny about that? I met some fans who are flight attendants, right? And they work for Emirates, and then they were saying that fucking British tourists are like wild. Like they're like
Because they
hella
can finally
rude.
be fucking humans.
They're like hella rude and like mean and like different.
Probably gotta let loose or something.
Yeah, when I've traveled in Europe, and every time it's not an American tourist, it's a British tourist that's like being insanely rowdy.
Being kicked
Well,
out.
they're the original colonizers, dude. Makes sense. Fucking.
They're like
assholes.
British and Chinese tourists are the worst customers.
Oh shit.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I thought it would be Americans, and they're like, oh, Americans just like they just have a dress sloppy and like kind of like different, but not as bad as how they get treated by British customers or Chinese customers.
It's the interaction part, huh?
Sometimes I couldn't use this because the last place that I lived in, my condo neighbor, their kids were so fucking loud, and it was like the most. You know, when we talk about, we make fun of that stereotype of that disrespectful white kid, dude. Their fucking daughters were the most disrespectful shits I've ever heard in my life. Like,
They were white?
white, of course. And so this one time, I could hear this shit. So Khalif's wall is connected to the kid's room, and then I'm upstairs and mine's not connected. I can still hear them yelling. But I'm talking about some shit like the dad would say, "Sweetie, you need to put on your jacket because it's cold outside." She goes, "You're not the boss of me. Get out of my room!" Like shit like that, and just screaming. And then he's like, "No." And then mom would come in, and then mom would say, "Sweetie, you need to listen to daddy. You're not the boss of me either."
Ooh, where's the belt?
Exact. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, somebody fuck this kid up, dude. But I had a problem with the neighbor one time because I was watching a movie in my room, and I guess it was a little too loud for them. And mind you, their kids were yelling at them every day. And so I was too loud for them, and so he started
Oh, come on.
No.
And I
That's
was
some
like,
fighting shit.
And so I woke up the next morning, and this is like when I was trying to learn how to speak a little more polite, but it still came out wrong either way because I talked to him the next day, knocked on his door. I was like, hey, was I too loud for you last night? And he goes, yeah, we were trying to sleep. I was like, but I had the movie on at around like 9:30 or something, and quiet time's around 10. So I was like, did you also know that your kids wake us up every morning when they scream and I don't say shit to you?
And you're not the boss of them either.
You should have said that.
You're like the boss of me.
That would have been perfect.
And I was like, I don't say anything to you. I was like, when you bang on my wall like that, it sounds like you want to fight. So do you want to fight me? And then he goes, oh no, that's not what I meant. I was like, well, that's cool, but when you bang on my wall, it makes it seem like you and I want to get into an altercation. So I don't talk shit about your kids, even though they bang on the walls. Like, you know why? It's because you're my neighbor, and I understand it's hard to control kids. So I just want that same respect back.
Well
Doesn't make
played.
sense. So, but like, it's kind of crazy how you start banging on my fucking wall. But
That's because all the kids
Yeah.
fucking drive him crazy.
Yeah, they
and he
just
doesn't know what to do.
Control.
Yeah.
yeah.
He doesn't know what to do, so he's taking that anger out on the wall.
Some funnier shit too. Fucking Khalif is hilarious because he saw their, the fucking during Christmas, the kids wrote this letter to Santa and left it on the mail. Khalif grabbed it, went, store it up and threw it in the garbage can. Oh! Because it said, "We've been really good kids, Santa. I hope." It's like Khalif saw it, he goes, "Nope," tears it and throws it in the garbage can.
He read it first? Oh,
Damn.
Khalif.
I like that it's funny because Santa doesn't exist, but he's like, just in case this motherfucker ain't going to see it.
Just in case.
It ain't going to
Lying sons of
Santa.
Bitches.
Damn. That's fucking funny.
Fucking Khalif, man. He's picking on kids.
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
I guess that makes sense then, because it kind of warns you from like when you're making a ton of noise, it'll stop you because you're like, I'm not gonna get fined.
Oh yeah.
Like it'll like that dude would have tried harder to shut the kids up
For
if he knew
real.
it would cost money.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah, so the fines
That
here,
ain't
they're
worth it.
saying that if they fail to comply, they face an on-the-spot fine of 100 British pounds or about $126, or a fine up to 2,500 pounds, which is about 3,160.
Damn, that's a lot.
And businesses
Wow.
can be fined up to 20,000 pounds, which is about $25,311.
Oh my god, we would have been fined so many times.
I mean,
People
everyone's
have
cheering and
passionate
yelling all the
sex. They
time.
have to be quiet the whole time.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's so.
oh, it's not even like a time thing. It's like all day,
Not a
all
time.
night.
It's just if you
Indefinite.
create any noise that your neighbor could hear outside,
Wow.
you will.
Damn, are these apartments made out of origami and shit? Like, what the? Why is it so
Yeah,
thin?
because aren't these buildings like kind of old? Like in Britain, don't they kind of preserve the structures so you can't really like add shit to your like colonial home or whatever
Well,
the
what's,
fuck?
what's crazy too is how do they prove it? Like, let's say we're neighbors, and I
Yeah.
don't like you,
Yeah,
just because
exactly. Yeah,
I don't
that's
like
a good
you,
point, yeah.
and I'm just like, hey, he keeps making noise, he's interrupting, and you're just like, no, I didn't. So it's my word against yours. Like, how do they prove
Maybe you gotta like
on your
record
cell
it.
phone.
Yeah.
At the Cape Town apartment, there was this crazy guy that lived beneath us too, and he came up, knocked on our door, and said, "We need to stop having dance parties." It was fucking 10 a.m. in the morning. I was asleep, and he was like, "You're having dance parties."
Maybe
up
he
here."
was on drugs.
He was. So this fool was going some crazy shit in his fucking place because he always had the lights off and he had light goggles on his head all the fucking time.
Fuck.
Fucking freak, dude.
That fool's mining in his own apartment.
Cat dancing! Yeah, and then he left this very surly note under our door cursing us out and shit. Fucking pissed me off. Dance parties and shit.
Damn, you got a lot of fucked up neighbors, man.
No, man. Cape Town and fucking Pasadena.
I don't remember what it's like to have a fucked up neighbor. I want to shake my fist at somebody.
Maybe you're the fucked up neighbor.
Yeah, maybe that's why you don't know.
You're the dance party guy.
Yeah. I know, dude. Recently, I felt bad, but it had to be done. I complained about my neighbor. So
You
right
tattled
now,
on somebody?
I did because.
Damn, you're becoming an adult.
But listen. So let me tell you the whole situation. So in the apartment complex that we live in, they're like townhomes, and the apartment at the end of the building, we're like second to the end, right? And so in our place, we're renting from the owners, and the owners are cousins with the people that own our neighbors.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening is for many, like it had happened like about 5 or 6 times already that in the middle of the night, these people are hanging out outside in the patio, which is like, you guys remember our place, like our bedroom? We have like a big ass sliding glass door, and that glass door is on the second story. But in the first story of the neighbor, that's where the patio is.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So the wall.
I'll go straight up there.
Exactly. The noise just goes straight up there, and it's like dude, our place is so soundproof that if you just hang out inside, we won't hear anything. But they just kept hanging out outside, and
Because it's so hot.
They have AC, like.
But they're Chinese.
No, they're not. I actually don't know where they are. I think they might be Italian.
We don't like to use the AC, yeah.
But like Italian American, like they're pretty much white people, I guess, at this point. I don't know.
We make a hot pizza in the
Much
house.
white people, they've upgraded.
But so then many times we went out and complained, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we're never gonna do it again." And we're like, "Dude, again?"
You went to the house?
We went, or Casey went over and like, "Hey."
That was cute. We went.
No. Oh, because I actually went once. That's all.
okay.
Because it happened so many times.
Damn.
But Casey did it the first few times, and then at one point I just got so mad because Casey was asleep and I was awake because I'm the one that sleeps closest to that window. And so I'm like, holy shit, I can't sleep. But then this last time it was 3 a.m.
Damn, that's too late.
Yeah, 3 a.m.
Do you guys go out at the time they're outside?
Yes.
You're like, yo, you guys are loud.
Yeah. So, but at this time, when it was 3 a.m., I was so exhausted, and then I could hear them like their laughter woke me up.
They was having a good time.
Yeah, and because they're drinking outside too. So I'm like, what the fuck? So somehow I was able to go to sleep, and then they wake me up again when they come inside because they ended up going out to the balcony, which is right next to the actual glass thing. And then they woke me up again. I'm like, holy fuck, it's almost 5 a.m. and these motherfuckers won't go to sleep.
Are they young?
So the thing is, the woman that owned that place, she died recently and her daughter took over. And so her daughter has this really crazy boyfriend who apparently have had this really long relationship, and he's just like a crazy dude that always causes problems.
He's an Italian gangster.
Yeah. He seems like he's kind of gangster.
I didn't know the mob existed where we are at.
And
He ain't
then
no gangster over here.
Does he wear Tommy Bahamas?
what is that?
It's like the long sleeve shirts that all the mafia guys wear.
You know what you all have to do? You just gotta wait for them to get really drunk, roofie up their fucking drinks, knock them the fuck out, beat the fuck out of them, leave them back in the house, and just say, last warning. That's
No,
it.
so then they
They
also
wake
have,
up all like sore, like, did I fall down the stairs last night?
but they also have this yappy ass dog, and that dog woke me up. I got woken up 3 times that night, and finally I called my landlord. I'm like, listen, we put up with this shit for months, and I didn't want to be a tattletale and be that neighbor because we have gone to them so many times. Can you please make it stop? Last night I couldn't sleep. This is getting out of hand. And so he finally talked to, and then that's when he told me the tea about the boyfriend. He was like, yeah, my niece, she's just been with this guy. Like every time he's around, they were always, because they have arguments all the time too. And I'm like,
Dude, just kill the fucking dog. That sends a warning.
Then they'll just be bothering you crying.
Yeah.
Now they'll be drinking.
Remember that dog?
Or you could call the cops on them and say like, hey, I'm so worried
That's
about
actually-
them. I feel like they're having a domestic dispute.
Somebody's getting raped.
Yeah,
that's actually what my landlord
Every
told
night.
Me. My landlord
I don't
said,
know what to do either, Tiff. He's a nightmare. You gotta do something.
pretty much, because he was like, listen, I know you don't want to do this, but if it gets bad again, you're just gonna have to call the cops. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm scared.
Oh, I would love to now.
Do you think other
I
neighbors?
would love it.
Do you think
I'm
other
scared
neighbors?
because he does seem like pretty G. Like I don't
But
want to
does-
fuck with
do
you.
other
They have
neighbors?
so many guns.
They'll be anonymous, so the cops they'll come and they'll
It's
be
pretty
anonymous.
obvious who it is though, because she's
Because I
been.
said,
Yeah,
that's why
you've
I
been
described
complaining.
where the unit is.
That's why you gotta move to Santa Clarita.
Yeah, we gotta go to Santa Clarita.
There's no one else complaining, going, excuse me, but you're loud.
Well, like I said, they're in. So it's like this building, right? They're at the end. We're here. Like there's no one near them but us.
Oh, you're
Like,
the only
it's
one to
only
suffer
us.
from that shit.
Or you, when you talk to the cop, like after you're done talking to them, come over to our house, bang on our door, and go, you guys need to shut the fuck up too.
Just so they can be like, it's not us, it's not us.
And then you guys can relate to that. It's like, dude, somebody's been ratting us out. Oh, perfect.
That's
You're like
why
the-
everyone needs an old white lady that lives out there.
We have
They
that
regulate that shit.
We have that lady. Her name is Gloria. She's fucking funny. We have so many stories with Gloria.
Does she regulate?
Well, so she lives at the building over there. So she's too far.
Just hire a different old lady to like do that job.
Old white ladies, they'll.
But what's the problem if they know it's you? I would want that person to know it was me that fucking
I just
called the
told
cops.
you what kind of person the
He's
guy
not,
is.
he ain't gonna do shit, dude.
He's scary.
He is not gonna do fucking shit.
Oh, now we have balls, David?
Huh? No, this is different. Amongst our friends, I'm docile. But that motherfucker's different. He ain't gonna do fucking shit. You let them know it's you. It's like, yeah, it's me, fucking motherfucker. Do something, fucking.
But they live next to them.
I live next to him. And then, you know how I said that they've had this long, crazy relationship? My landlord was telling me that they would break up when he went to jail.
Who the fuck? We know a lot of people that went to jail. What the fuck does that mean?
Fuck with.
Bart's been in jail.
You have?
Well, holding.
No.
Not really.
No.
For expired dog tags.
Hey,
like,
I'm trying to make him gangster.
I did hear that one.